Hey there, welcome to the Girl Go Global podcast, where faith and works are empowered. With every episode, we're embracing our multi layered lives with faith, know how, and grit. I'm your host, Dr. Jasmine, and I'm ready to go global with you. Let's get started. Welcome to the Girl Go Global podcast, where faith and works are empowered. I'm your girl, Dr. Jasmine. I'm so excited that you decided to join me today. This community is designed to empower you, our global girls, to join your faith and your works to live out the courageous life for which God created you. So, if you've been enjoying the content, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And hit the link in the bio, in the description to support your girl, right? Because we are dropping that value. You can donate anything that you feel that the Lord lay on your heart, child, because we want to continue to provide you with the great content and the great value and to let you hear from voices in our communities and around the world who are doing the thing. They are living out their faith-filled lives. They are stepping into their power and they are fulfilling their true destiny and purpose in life. And so today I have with me Miss Kimberly Smith. He's an attorney and the founder of Ethan Ken, an independent beauty retailer based in Washington, D.C. And she is here with me today. She has all of the things, all of the black and brown beauty brands, all of the skincare, all of the hair care, all of the makeup, y'all. And so Ethan Ken is a whole little cute little vibe, which I visited, I think it was this year. So Kimberly,
Yeah.
would you say hello to the Girl Go Global community?
Wow, I just love that welcome. So, hello, hello, hello. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for joining me. And I'm just going to jump right into the conversation. We met, I guess, I'm not exactly sure actually. I think that this maybe around the top of the year, if you will, at
Yeah.
another mixer that you had, a DC mixer that you had. And
Mm-hmm.
it was so nice to just walk into a black owned business for us, by us, and for others. Hello.
Yeah.
And so I just wanted to talk with you and we connected. I enjoyed your vibe. I enjoyed your energy. And I think that you are super dope. And I think that the Girl Go Global community deserve to know you likewise. And if you are in the DMV visiting in DC, roll over to your girl's store, Ethan Ken, because it's a vibe. I want to know all about it, where the inception was, why the name, and all about your practicing attorney, all of the things. So tell us a little bit about Ethan Ken, where it came from, and why you decided to say, "Hey, I'm a whole attorney, but I do need a brick and mortar beauty brand." Tell us
Yes.
about it.
Of course. So, I will say I approached starting this business as a consumer, and it really was what I wanted to see and what I felt was needed. So, yes, I'm a practicing attorney still, and but very much into beauty. I shop at the same stores that all of you probably shop at. But what I noticed is that me going into these spaces, that oftentimes I felt that they weren't they weren't seeing me, the consumer, as a black woman being able to provide the products and services that made me feel comfortable, and um, spoke to me in a way where you understood, you know, what I'm looking for, whether it's foundation, the shade that I'm looking for, if it's
Mm,
hair care, if I'm wearing my natural, like what do I need to like make my curls pop, or if it's different shades of lipstick, like I feel oftentimes when we go into these spaces that they don't know how to consult with us. Either they
mm,
don't know how to, and oftentimes they don't want to. And I think because we spend so much money when it comes to beauty, we deserve a space that we can walk into this space and we know that the people that work there, like they see us and they see our dollar, but like they really see us. And that to me was missing in the market. So I had this idea. It was 20 the summer of 2016 actually. I had this idea because I had reached a level of frustration where I was like, okay, like no more. I was shopping at a store we probably all know. And I was looking for, at the time, I remember I was going on vacation. I was looking for this product that I would use for my contour at the time. So for me, brown skin girl, I was looking for a contour, which means that it needed to be like a deep brown. And I
Mm,
remember
mm,
the sales associate, her telling me that, oh, we no longer carry this shade in the store. Well, buy this particular brand. So I was like, oh, okay. And so she said, well, let's try to find, a different brand and a foundation with a deeper color. So we looked the
mm.
entire store and they didn't have anything that was deeper than my actual complexion. And
Wow.
so I remember thinking like, okay, this is crazy. Like we're in DC. Like how are you in have a store in DC where, whether, Chocolate City isn't as chocolate, it's still chocolate here, right?
Mm,
We are still here. And the fact that you don't have, a contour for me means that you don't even have a regular shade for someone who has a deeper complexion than me.
mm,
So I remember leaving the store. I was like, hey, this is crazy. And I remember, like, I called my mom. I was like, "Huh, I have this idea. um, I want to start this, business, and it will be like beauty focused." And at the time, I just thought that from a buying perspective, I would have this store and I would buy from the most popular brands, but I would buy deep into, the shades, colors, all the products that would be suited for us melanin blessed girls, right? And so like that was
mm,
the idea. So she was like, "Oh, like yeah, like that's a good idea. Whatever you do, I support you." So I have that type of mind where like whatever I do, like she's gonna be support me 110%. So I was
mhm,
like, "Okay, cool, I'm gonna do it." So from September of 2016 through January 2017, I basically just tried to kind of, map out what this business will look like. And so I decided to start a website. So start an e-commerce business first. And I didn't have a business plan or anything really. I just kind of had ideas and I put my ideas on paper. So it was like a one page of like what I wanted this business to be, look like, that kind of thing.
mm.
And I launched in January of 2017 with about 12 brands at the time.
Wow.
And I was, I started with these 12 brands and I was like, okay, I'm just going to like I'm gonna roll with it. And then what happened was there was a publicist that was based here in DC that reached out to me on Instagram, was like, okay, hey, like I like what you're doing. I'm starting my own PR firm. I want to work with you. So this is a shout out to Nikki Osei from Osei PR. And basically, between January when I launched and about May is when I kind of had like an official launch party. We basically sent the story, the mission out to a lot of publications and it was featured everywhere. And it
Wow.
was at the time it was like, okay, this is like the Black Sephora and
I
this
love
is
it.
like, a website of, what Black women, a e-commerce destination of what we're all looking for. And that was the original name was Marjani. It was Marjani Beauty. And that's what I did. And so I literally focused on that whole year of 2017, I focused on doing in-person like pop-ups. And so I did pop-ups in New York, Atlanta, LA, Miami, and I did this thing called the Perfect Match Tour. And so the initial thing was I took myself on the road and I had I was I had Danessa Myricks then, and I had like another brand. I had AJ Crimson, and
Mm,
basically we would do this activation where we were going to help you find your perfect match, and that was kind of what really sparked the business. And I had my ex business partner and we decided to start this come together to open up a space and that happened in December of 2018.
mm,
And so that's pretty much how the business kind of grew and morphed into what it is. And so like today, I'm running it, by myself. I decided to rebrand early
Mm-hmm.
this year, because I started thinking, now going out again, being a solo entrepreneur, and then thinking of where I wanted to take this brand and where I see it going in the future. And
Okay.
so when I started this year, I did this whole, I met up with some friends of mine and we were doing this whole naming convention of like, okay, I know I want to rebrand, but I want to make sure the name means something to me and it kind of speaks to what I'm doing and where I want to take the business. And
Nice.
so I started thinking about, my feelings about beauty, how I came to be, like a lot of us, like a beauty girl, whether it's makeup or skincare or body care, whatever it is, we all have some type of relationship to beauty as Black women. And I remember for me, my entree into beauty was my grandmother. And she was someone who, she had her low cut, blonde buzz cut like back in the day. She will always have like a pop of color on her lips, whether it was a red or a fuchsia, whatever. She was to me like she was like that girl back then when
Nice.
you know what I'm saying? So like I remember seeing that now and for me, like I've always like I've never been afraid of color. Like I've always just wanted to, have makeup represent who I am. And so for me, she was my inspiration. And so that the first part of Eighth and Kin is that number 8. And that's a number that signifies like my grandmother and
Mm,
my inspiration for beauty.
I love
And
the
then so
story.
kin
Mm,
kin is, kin is kinship. It's family, it's community, and that ultimately is what this business is about. It's about creating a space for us to, have community, for us to shop and do all these things, but to be able to go into a space where we can be affirmed, where we can be seen, and of course, we can shop, do all the things when it comes to beauty. So Eighth and Kin it's about family. It's about honoring, our whatever our inspiration is for beauty. It's about honoring our past and honoring truly the future because we know that as Black women, society doesn't always see it or affirm it, but we know that we are trendsetters when it comes to beauty. We know that every trend, but probably behind it is a Black woman, a Black girl who has done something, right?
mhm,
And we may not see ourselves in society, but I want to make sure that Eighth and Kin, you see yourself. And that's
mm.
what it is.
I love the story. I love the mission. And I love that you are the one doing it.
Thank you. Thank you. Like, this is definitely, I've come to realize like this is my passion. And I
Mm-hmm.
remember, yes, I'm an attorney. That is something that I do. I believe it's something that I'm great at. But I always prayed for God to reveal what else do you want me to do? Like what else am I supposed to do? And I would get frustrated sometimes, like, let's like Lord, like, what is it? Like, like reveal it. Like, let me know. Like, what do you want me to do? Like, what is my part or my contribution? And when I started doing this, is I started to see it. I started to see, the effect of having a space like this, what it means to not just me, but what it means to women coming into that space. Like I have, and it could be days where I'm just kind of feeling like, oh my gosh, like, woe is me kind of thing. And I will have women that will come that somehow found the business online or whatever and will be visiting DC and they will tell me like this was my stop. Like I had this on my list of places to see because I wanted to come in and experience this space of like you said, like this space being Black owned, you walking in, seeing all the Black images and the brands in there. I mentioned I started with 12. I'm now at like 70 brands of Black and brown
Mm,
brands only. And they want to experience this. And it takes me back. I'm like, wow, like I can't believe that. Even though I know I wanted to see it, it still surprised me to this day when customers come in and they get it. And they they get the feeling that I wanted to create. Like, I want you to have a feeling when you walk in. And when that happens, I still am like, wow, like, okay, like I am like it all is worth it. Like every being an entrepreneur, doing all these things, like, running the business, it is all worth it for that feeling that women have when they come into the space.
I love it. And I love that they get it. And I love that
Mhm.
you get it. I too, I have I guess for when I go to buy makeup, I have an olive tone to my skin. So
Mhm.
it can be hard for me to match.
Mhm.
And then sometimes when I find a match,
Mhm.
they discontinue it and I gotta
Yes.
figure out something and I just find myself um resting back in the same old thing when
Yep.
I've been wanting to try new things. And I
Yep.
love that you are creating space for the new things,
Yep.
creating space for things that align better with our skin texture, our
Yep.
the way we like to wear our makeup, the quality, the value,
Mhm.
the health aspect of our
Mhm.
skin. So I
Mhm.
loved it. I love to see it. And I've used some of the products. Do you do on any online merch?
Of course. Yes. So that's important to me too, because, as my goal definitely is to grow and to be able to meet customers, where they are physically. But small business, you gotta you gotta be so patient and being
Mm,
able to do that. So I started as an e-commerce and I still, have a website, and that is how most customers shop. So
nice.
they're able to go online, and everything that is in the store is online. And we also
Okay.
do free consultations. So you could do a virtual consultation where whether it's me or one of my associates, we will get on the phone with you and we will talk to you about what it is you need and make recommendations from there.
Okay. That's awesome. That's a great service because sometimes,
Hmm.
you need to talk to somebody. It's to
Yep.
get their opinion. Hey, how does this look?
Hmm.
All of that. So that's super, super dope.
Yep.
Where have you gotten the faith to do what you've done? To be that solo entrepreneur, to branch out from being that attorney,
Hmm.
um, to be include all of you or this becoming. It sounds like you found a little bit more of yourself
Yep.
having started this business. Where have you
Hmm.
found the faith to do that?
I would say it probably started just with my family, with my mother and my grandmother, because my grandmother, first and foremost, like, she was an entrepreneur, like she worked for herself,
Mm,
and I only saw her working for herself,
gotcha.
and until that she passed, like, she was an entrepreneur that worked for herself and supported not only herself, but she supported, other family members. And, my mom followed in her footsteps for a while, and me seeing that, it was just it was a natural thing for me to think that one day I could do something similar. I didn't know, what it would be at the time. I honestly thought that, since I was an attorney, that maybe I would do some type of maybe I will do my own law firm at some point, or I'll do some type of consulting, which I ended up doing, but I never thought that it would be in beauty. But
Mm,
having this idea, it wasn't like I told you, like, first person I called was my mother. And so the fact that she was like, "Oh yes, okay, yep, I support you 110%. Okay, so tell me what you need from me." So one, knowing that I had the support allowed me to then go out and do this crazy thing.
mm.
And it's been a roller coaster, I will say, from launching in 2017 to now it's what 2023. I mean,
Mhm.
we had a whole health pandemic.
Mm.
I had a whole business partner and that partnership didn't work out. Like, I literally had all the things that can negatively affect a business, especially a small business, especially a small Black woman owned business. But all of that, I still kept having this desire, or like, I wake up in the middle of the night sometimes with either ideas for my business or things I know I have to do, and it just doesn't go away. And I
Mm.
know that something keeps, you know, keeps keeps you up at night, wakes you up, or like that voice that you're hearing, it's not nothing. Like, it literally is, whatever it is, whatever you believe in, that being telling you either to keep going, to do something different, whatever it is, it's speaking to you. And so I have a voice that's always speaking to me and kind of guiding me even in those moments where I've wanted to kind of, just kind of shut down because it's just been so overwhelming. But it literally is telling me that it's bigger than me. Like it's something that I'm supposed to do. And along the way, I just keep getting these small confirmations that, okay,
Mm,
Kim, you're doing what you're supposed to do. Now you might have to take some pivots along the way, but you are you are on the right path.
mm.
And it's that gnawing feeling that it's sometimes louder than I want it to be, because sometimes I'm like, listen, like, no, I'm over it. I don't want to, but it still keeps speaking to me, telling me like, no, no, girl, like, keep going. And with that, I keep finding ways to just figure it out, and ultimately kind of like course direct, I guess, along the way.
Nice. I love that. I love that you're reaching back to what you know, to
Mhm.
that foundation of who you are, which it sounds like you have greatly impacted by your mom and grandmother.
Mhm.
And that's many of our stories in
Mhm.
our community, that our moms and grandmoms have
Mhm.
been the legacy builders for us.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah. And so I love that. And I love that uh you're so willing to partner and share your insights. And so if someone wants to jump into your industry, they say, hey girl, hey, number
Mhm.
one, I have a beauty product and I want to see if I can partner to, you know, jump into a retailer. I may not
Mhm.
have that avenue with a Sephora or Ulta, but Auntie
Mhm.
Kim might support me if there's
Yep.
a beauty product that you would people want to solicit and see how they can be stocked in your store. What's the process for that? And then any strategies you have for just people who want to jump into the industry, period, that beauty industry, or just transition into something new.
Yep. So I'm glad you asked that. So one of the other things that I will mention with this business is the the best part of it, is discovery. So for me, so on the customer side, it's about discovering, new, and established brands. So there's brands that I carry now that are extremely popular that weren't popular when I first carried them.
Mm,
There's brands that you come in and they are new to you, and it's brands that I believe in, brands that I believe that, listen, they might not be in this retailer, and it's a bazillion reasons why, but that doesn't mean that they aren't good, better, as good or better than the brands that you see in these popular retailers. But they need to have shelf space. They need to have the opportunity
mm-hmm,
to be in spaces where their customers shop. And
mm-hmm,
so a lot of, there's a number of brands now that I was their first retailer before going into a Sephora, before going into an Ulta, before going into a Target, like all of those things. And that is something that I'm really proud of, and that I like discovering new brands. Like I like working with new brand, and establishing new brand partnerships, and being a part of a brand story and how they enter retail, whether they decide to get into larger retail, or they decide to have relationships only with specialty retailers, which is what I consider myself. So that's something that I'm proud of, and I've been able to establish that type of, I would say, expertise at this point of being able to discover, the next big thing when it
mm,
comes to like Black owned beauty. And what I used to do, and which I want to get back to this, is I used to do this incubation type of program where there are some brands that will come to me, and they're like, yeah, I want it, like, how can I be on the shelf. Some brands, I will say, may not be ready yet, right, but they have everything that they need to be ready. And so I will, work with them. I will give them advice on, hey, like this is what you probably need to do. Whether it's like packaging, their pricing might be off. They might not be priced for retail.
Mm,
They might not be ready in the sense of you probably can't produce the units needed for retail. So say, you come into the store and customers love your product, how are you ready to be able to fulfill, reorders, at a certain level? And so as much as sometimes people think like, oh, I have this amazing thing, like I want to be sold in stores, sometimes you might not be ready. And what I
mm,
do is I will, work with a brand to give them, that type of support to let them know how they can be ready. Because
gotcha.
a lot of the things that I'm looking for are the same things that another larger retailer is looking for. The only difference is it's times 10 because they have, a bunch of locations, all these things. And so if you can't be ready at one, location, then you're not ready for 10, 100, 300,
Yeah, yeah.
so like that's something that I do love to do. I do love to work with emerging brands that are poised to be the next thing. So I have brands now, like they'll reach out to me, whether it's like via email. We have a questionnaire where we'll go through, some initial questions about, their products, their mission, depending on what it is, how many products they have, where they're trying to take their brands. And I usually go from there. I do when it comes to brands that like, that I might meet that might be ready. I put it in a priority of like what I'm kind of looking for. So I do listen to the customer. So customers come in and if they ask for like, oh, hey, do you have X, Y, and Z? And if we don't have X, Y, and Z, I'm like, oh, okay, you know what? I need to make it a point for us to kind of look and seek out this particular thing. So I do it that way. And then also, if it's just something that, if it's a good product, whether it's a good skincare product or a good makeup product or a good body care product, if it's something good that's going to look good on the shelf that customers are going to be attracted to, the ingredients are good, it works, it's whether it's going to solve a skincare problem or whatever it is, making sure that it speaks to us. It might be for everybody, which most products are for everybody, but I make sure that it speaks to us and what our concerns are first. And that's the first priority for sure.
Oh, I love that. I love that you support people to get into the industry in ways that they might not have had that opportunity, and you help with their
Mhm.
this discovery of their brands in ways that
Mhm.
get them into a store really, or
Mhm.
onto a
Yep.
platform that specializes in this area, and then
Mhm.
also providing that business consult. So do you only
Yep.
focus on beauty brands like skincare, hair care, makeup? Are there anything else in the beauty kind of wellness aspect? Have you expanded into like more wellness type things, products, or let me know about that.
Yeah. So yeah, no, I definitely just focus on skincare, hair care, makeup, and body care.
Gotcha.
And we do in the space, we do have professional makeup artists. So we have makeup
Mm-hmm.
artists that, you can come in, get your makeup done. And we have in the past had an esthetician, and so we'll probably get back to doing that. So we did skin services. So
Okay.
like that's pretty much what we focus on. But we do partner with other small businesses that provide like wellness. Like we've partnered with one of my friends. Her name is Wintana, and her business is Reset Lifestyle. And so
Mm-hmm.
we did a first of what's going to be a series, which is going to talk about, we talk about I clearly I'm selling products and it's about, the topical things that you can do. But the series with her is going to be about what can you do from the inside. So, because we know that beauty starts from the inside out.
Mm-hmm.
And doing this series with her, we are focusing on the wellness aspect. So we did an event, I think it was in September. And so our next event is going to be in January. And then from there, we're going to do something monthly. And it's going to focus on different wellness topics that we feel that can relate to, the overall like beauty conversation.
Nice, nice. Do people have to pay to come to those
Nope,
workshops?
free, free
Okay,
99.
free 99. So love to see it. Oh, I love that. Global Girls, I'm talking to Miss Kimberly Smith of Eighth and Kin. She is the independent beauty retailer based in Washington, D.C. She is leading an organization where she is creating opportunity for Black, Brown beauty products to be
Hmm.
discovered and
Yep.
creating opportunities for us to be seen, to be found. Hello. And so
Yes.
I love, love, love the inclusivity of it. I love what you're doing, and I love to be able to and to have had supported you. When I think about what it means for the work that you're doing to impact us in so many ways, it seems like it's like a domino effect.
Hmm.
Not only are you supporting the customer, but you also
Hmm.
supporting the business owner
Yep.
in ways that they would not have had the opportunity. And so when I say what gives you the courage to do this great work, what gives you the courage to get up every day to multitask as an attorney, and I'm sure so
Hmm.
many other things, as well as lead this organization where you're supporting so many, what gives you that courage?
It's about, it's us, it's Black women. Like that's my courage comes from me being a Black woman, me seeing Black women, and me wanting us to win. Like that, like ultimately I want us to win, like period. And then ultimately our community, we talk, I think now we start to see more, data information around, the black dollar and how powerful the black dollar is, right? And I don't think sometimes we realize just how powerful it is, but it doesn't stay within our community very long as compared to other communities. Other
Right.
communities, their dollar, it circulates within them longer than it does for us. Whether, they
Sure.
use each other for different services, whether, they use each other for, contractors, attorneys, accountants, whatever it is, they support and shop within their communities, all those things. Where for us, our dollar leaves quickly because we, as soon as we get it, we support other people, which listen, is it's no, there's nothing wrong with that, but we need to make sure if we are trying to sustain, generations to come behind us, and we're trying to ultimately build wealth within our community, within our children, our children's children, we have to find ways in which our dollar stays within our community longer. And this business, it's about that. It's about, like you mentioned, the black and like the brands that are in this store, you're supporting other small businesses. One,
Mm,
right? So where, all the people that I use for businesses, whether it's marketing, whether it's anything it is, I'm looking for other black owned businesses that I can support too to help me do the thing. So that to me is what keeps me motivated and focused, is that I know that my little small parts of the universe, I'm doing my part and I'm supporting our community financially. And I am really about, economic growth and trying to figure out what I can do for my, not just for my future, but for other people's future. And that is my motivation for sure. And that's going to always keep me, going from, waking up, no matter how frustrated I am with it. Ultimately, that is the thing that is most important for me.
I love it. And I love that it's really is become a mission for you, a mission and a
Hmm.
purpose.
Yep, for
So what's
sure.
next? What's next for Kimberly? What's next for Ethan Ken? What can we expect from you next?
Yeah, so the next thing is products. So I am launching the Async King collection, which is going to
Mm.
be a collection of color cosmetics.
Mm.
And it's going to, for me, I always say this, like when women come in, and a lot of times, we're still scared of trying color, we're scared of, being bold sometimes, like wearing that bold red or that bold pink or bold orange or bold deep berry. So it's a collection of lip stains, lip glosses, um, lip pencils, different things that
Mm.
focus on being bold and just kind of like just stepping out and really embracing color, I would say. So I'm excited about that. I'm excited about getting into product development and creating my own products. And that's what's next for Eighth and Ken.
Nice. I love it. So when I say, what does it mean for Girls to Go Global? What would you say? Because it absolutely sounds like you've embraced your multi-layered life with faith, know-how, and grit. That is our mission around here. So when I ask you, what does it mean for Girls to Go Global? What would you say?
I would say going global is is being limitless, like not setting limits on yourself. So whatever it is, you want to do, just having the confidence to do it. We can do all the things, like we can have so many hats. And that to me is what's beautiful. So it's not just I can only do a 9 to 5, or I can if I'm an entrepreneur, I can only do that. Like we can do all the things. We can be a 9 to 5. We can have our own business. We can have multiple businesses. We can do
Mm,
all the things without limits. So
without
for
limit.
me, going global is living your life limitless.
Love it. And that is exactly what you're doing. And I'm so proud of you for it. I always
Thank you.
enjoy seeing women who really embrace their interdisciplinary ways. You're
Mhm.
an
Yes.
attorney, you're a business owner, you're embracing all of you. And that's really what this community is all about. On top
Yes.
of that, we believe in the faith in God to reach
Yep.
our capacity and purpose in life. And so I
Mhm.
believe you're doing it. And I love that we're connected. And I love that I've been able to sit on the sideline and get your emails and you have been able to discover you and your
Mhm.
business because now I'm going to be even more supporting your business. So thank you so much for joining me. This has been a great conversation. Global Girls, would you please like, share, and subscribe? Would you also look up Eighth and Ken? Get your products,
Yes.
y'all. Get your products, subscribe. If you have products, reach out to Kimberly at Eighth and Ken so that way you can get a consult, book a consult,
Yes.
y'all. And so, nonetheless, I have enjoyed this conversation. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And don't forget to go global.